I am Scott Mayo, saxophone player, flute player, clarinet player, singer, musician, and I play here in Los Angeles, and I make a living as a musician. I've been doing music for about 35 years, which is crazy. I started as a young clarinet player. I wanted to play a bunch of different instruments, and my mother said that everything I wanted to pick was too loud. So she said, both your brothers quit playing clarinet, so we have a clarinet here in the house, so that's what you're gonna play. So I started, I was 8 years old, and I started playing clarinet then, and I just loved it. A couple years later, I added saxophone. A couple years later, I added flute, and I just kept adding stuff. Some of my favorite things have been Earth, Wind & Fire. I was the saxophone player in Earth, Wind & Fire for 5 years of my life. Who gets to say that, ever? Like, no one gets to say that. That was literally a dream come true. When I was a teenager, I had Earth, Wind & Fire posters on my ceiling in my bedroom, and I used to dream that someday I'd play with them. And so there I am on stage with Earth, Wind & Fire. I was the sax player. So I got to play all those classic solos, and so that was kind of a dream come true period for my life. And there's all the current artists that I still kind of work with, which is great, like Bruno Mars and Damian Marley. I'm on his new project, and Robin Thicke. And so I'm still currently a working musician, and it's just been really great. At a baseline level, you should have a good sound. And sort of my job as a producer is to capture what the artist is doing as best I can. And so you gotta have a microphone that helps you do that. Another MXL artist who's my former roommate and one of my best friends in the world, Romeo Johnson, he told me about MXL because he was using MXL. And he said, you gotta check out these mics, you're gonna love them. And so I went to his house and I was shocked. I was like, wow, they sound great. And I'd never heard of MXL, I just hadn't heard of the company before. And that kind of started my interest in MXL. This microphone, the V87, is amazing. I love this microphone because I do a lot of different things. I sing, I play a lot of different horns, and so I needed to have a microphone that could sort of work for all the different types of things that I can do. This is the one. I mean, so often that I'll do a vocal on this and I'll send a file to somebody and they're like, wow, what was that microphone you used? Your voice sounded great. And it's this. So I just love this microphone. My saxophone sounds good, my flute sounds good. I did a session the other day on clarinet on this, and it sounded great. So to me, this is a really good all-around microphone for all the different stuff I do, and I honestly believe that. This, I just recently got, and I really, really like it. I haven't sung on it yet. I did play saxophone and I did play flute on it, and I really liked it. It was just super, super warm, especially the some more orchestral things that we did. It sounded so nice and so warm. It was very responsive. I really, really dug it. I think if you're wondering about MXL and what they do and what the microphones are, I think you should really just check them out. These are very affordable and they're really, really good mics. And I would challenge you to try to find something that sounds just as good, you know, at that price point, because they're just really great microphones. And they look cool too. That's the other thing. They're really cool looking mics, but they sound great. You know, if you're gonna have something that sounds great and it happens to look cool, that's even better. So in my studio, I use these because I think they look and they sound great. I'm Scott Mayo, and I'm an MXL artist.